If you're an HGSI user, you know that within the program you have a warehouse view, and in that warehouse view there's a lot of information. You have fields for the industry, the major industry, the sector, and the SIC code groups. Now you also know that if you own EdgeRater, you can do all kinds of things with analysis of groups, and if you wanted to do things like analyze the industry groups in terms of seeing their seasonality, in seeing group rotation, then you somehow need to get that information from HGSI into EdgeRater. And the prior recommended way of doing that was to export the indexes that were generated inside of HGSI into metastock format and then import them into EdgeRater. And that process has many steps, and it can get a little confusing along the way. The whole idea behind this template is to make that process a lot easier. So if you've coming to EdgeRater, select your HGSI category and then select your generate indexes from warehouse template, you'll find that all you need to do is select the warehouse HTML file and then press run. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you how to generate the warehouse HTML file. So in HGSI, choose your warehouse and then select the archive view. And you can find the archive view by going into the Quick Pick Warehouse Views, looking under the Ian Woodward and Ron Brown category, then looking under O1 Top-Down Analysis, and then selecting O9 Archive View. When you select that, you should have a view that has all of these fields. And the important fields that are needed in order to do this index generation are the industry field, the major industry field, the sector field, and the SIC code group field. Now, when you update your data, HGSI data every day, come to the warehouse view, select the archive view here, and then just say File, Save as HTML, and choose a location to save that file to. And I've created a location on my hard drive, and I've put it underneath the EdgeRater folder. I've created a subfolder called HGSI, and then beneath that I've created a subfolder called Warehouse Exports. And so that every day all I have to do is just hit the Warehouse Exports and just save this as allsecurities.htm. I don't give it any special naming, I just save it as that one file every day. And in fact, all I'm doing is overwriting that same file every day. But that's fine, because EdgeRater will take care of everything else. So once I've done that, I can come into EdgeRater, select my template, the generate indexes from warehouse HTML template, and then I need to find that file. I need to tell the template where that file is, and I can do that by hitting the change settings button and finding where I put that file. And once I've set this once, it will be saved so that next time I come into the program I don't have to re-find that file, and that's why it's a good idea to save the file in the same place every day. So once I've said where the file is, what I then do is hit the run button, and you'll see the process as it goes along and produces all of the data that goes along with this template. And there's a lot of data being processed. So let me give you an idea of what's happening right now. This file, the template, is generating 10-year indexes for all of those groups that I mentioned before. So the very first thing it's doing is it's taking all of the symbols that are in the warehouse file, and it's generating a 10-year snapshot for all of that data. So a good side effect of running this template every day is that now within EdgeRater, after running the template, you will have a symbol list containing 10 years of data for all of the securities. So that's what it's doing in the first step. The second step is it's actually going to go through and it's going to look in the file, and it's going to look at the industry column, and it's going to group everything by the relevant industry groups, find out what stocks are in those groups, and then generate an equal dollar weighted index for each of those groups. It's going to do that for the industry group column, the major industry group column, the sectors column, and the SIC code group column. And another thing that it does as a side effect is, because I've selected this all securities HTML file, it's actually going to do a conversion of that file into a spreadsheet. So there's a template in here, a new template, which is called convert warehouse HTML to spreadsheet. And there's a separate video on that if you want to see how to do that. But if you run this template, in addition to doing all of the other processing that it's doing, it will actually automatically generate the spreadsheet file from the HTML file, so you don't have to run that template separately. And you can see the process along the bottom here. I think in total it's probably going to take around 3 minutes to complete, but right now you see it's going through the data and generating the files that I need. You'll also notice that I haven't done anything with exporting to metastock format and importing back in to the program. All I had to do was just find the location of that file and press run. And in fact, if you do this every day, you don't have to find that file every day because it will be saved within the program. All you have to do on a daily basis is come in here and just hit the run button. And when it's finished, it shows the completed worksheet, which actually just tells you what the file was that it used for the warehouse. It tells you the location of that file. It tells you the name of the symbol list it created containing the 10 years of data. And if we open up the symbol lists panel now and we look under in the drop down, we'll see that there is a symbol list called warehouse all securities. You see here it said the symbol list file name for all securities from the warehouse is called warehouse all securities, and here it is. And this now has data going back 10 years. If I open up this in the edit symbol list dialog and I look at my data snapshot, I see I've got 10 years worth of data, and that's for all of the symbols. Now we'll see where the indexes are generated. There's something called industry group warehouse indexes industry, and there's a list in here, and this is now all of the groups, and the 10-year indexes for those groups are all now in this list. I have one also for sector, warehouse indexes sector. There are 10 sectors within HGSI. I have one for major industry, warehouse indexes major industry. You can see there are 48 major industry groups in HGSI. And I have one for SIC code groups. And if I open that up as my symbol list, warehouse indexes SIC, see we have 362 SIC code groups. So having that information in now EdgeRater is useful because you can do a number of interesting things. Like if you now want to look for seasonality in industry groups, we can select the warehouse indexes industry symbol list, and then we can look in the annual trends category and look for seasonality now. And if I press run on that group, we then get a list of everything that is coming into seasonality. Well, we can see the seasonality for all of these groups. So if I'm looking for something that has a good 3-month run from here to 3 months out, then I can sort by the 3-month column, and I can look for the 9 and 1, for instance, 9 up years and 1 down year with an average of 10% gain. I can see that Technology Distributors has that statistic. Refining and Marketing has good seasonality for the next 3 months, and so on. So it's a very useful thing to be able to get those indexes automatically into the program, and it's very straightforward now, and we don't have to go through Metastock. So that is the basics of using the template, and hope that you can use that every day. I would recommend the process being update your HGSI data, which you do every day, save the warehouse as an HTML file, and then come into EdgeRater, select your Woodward and Brown category in here, go to generate indexes from warehouse and just press run from here, and everything will be automatically generated for you. And one of the bonuses is that it will automatically create the archive of the warehouse for you and store it in your HGSI warehouse archive folder, and that will be useful at some point in the future when you want to go back and see what was actually contained in the warehouse at a prior date, and all of the dates will be saved there. And part of the naming convention of saving those files, the first part of the name is actually the date in year, month, day format. So that's it for this template, and thanks for watching.